Ferns. Which fern is right for you? Let's talk about it today. I've got three different ferns here: Macho fern, Kimberly queen, and Boston fern. These are three very popular ferns. We're going to talk about each one and what the advantages and disadvantages are of each fern. All right, let's start with Senor Macho. It's Macho because, well, the fronds and the leaves, if you call these leaves, on the fronds are bigger than a lot of other ferns. And although right now this Macho is smaller than the Kimberly queen, the Macho fern can get much bigger than Kimberly queen. So these can reach sometimes upwards of 6 feet across and tall. And it's got much more of a coarse texture compared to the finer texture and smaller leaves of the Kimberly queen. Now, speaking of Kimberly queen, the way that we tell her apart from, say, the Boston fern is she's more upright. But just because she's upright doesn't mean that she's uptight. In fact, she's kind of promiscuous. Look at this. She's growing right out the bottom here. Okay, now one of the advantages of Kimberly queen is it's actually going to be more sun tolerant than the other two varieties I showed you here. So in some climates, you can put these in quite a lot of sun and they'll still be able to handle it. Here in Texas, you wouldn't want to put them in afternoon sun, but if you have a morning sun spot, they're going to fare better than the other fern varieties. All right, let's move on to Boston. So the main difference here, besides being upright, is the Boston fern tends to hang a little more. That's why these are very popular in hanging baskets, or if you put them up on something and want them to trail down, they will do that. A lot of people get these two confused because when you see them separate from each other, they look very, very similar. But when you put them next to each other, you can see that the Kimberly queen, more upright, a little more tight growth pattern, whereas the Boston fern is a little more splayed open and the branches are a little bit, well, I would say lighter color green. But all three of these are excellent choices to put on your porch or patio this year. So give them a shot and see which one you like the best. And remember, keep your ferns close, but your enemies closer.